Have you ever looked at what someone else has and thought, that's not fair, I want what they have? Whether it's their trainers or the games console that they have, or even what they're eating for lunch. We can often be jealous at what other people have. And this is exactly what happened to the people of Israel. They looked at the countries surrounding them and they noticed that they all had kings. God had given Israel rulers called judges to help lead the people, and we learned a bit about them last week. There was a godly man at this time called Samuel, and he was Israel's judge. He was very wise and loved God. He was also a prophet. He represented God to the people. He also represented the people to God. But the people were fed up of Samuel. They no longer wanted him as judge. A judge wasn't enough. God had given them so much, but they still weren't content. They wanted a mighty ruler. They wanted a king. Samuel was not happy to hear this from the people. But God spoke to Samuel. He said, "They haven't rejected you. It is me that they are rejecting as king." You see, they wanted a king like all the nations around them, but they had missed the point. God wanted them to be different to all the other nations. That is why he had given them the laws that we heard about a few weeks ago. They wanted a king to lead them, but God had been leading them. They said they wanted someone to lead them into battle. God had led them into battle. He had given them strength and led them to victory. God warned them that if they had a king, he would take and take and take. The king that they chose would make workers of their children. He would take their land, their money. Did this put them off? No, they still wanted a king. So God gave them what they thought they wanted. God saying yes was his way of teaching them a lesson that they needed to learn. He wanted to give them a king at some point, but it just wasn't the right time. And so a man called Saul was made king. He was exactly what they thought they wanted. He was rich, he was tall and strong, he was brave, all the things that Israel saw in the kings of the other countries around them. But there were problems to come. Saul didn't listen to all of God's commands. He chose for himself which ones he wanted to listen to. He didn't listen to the wise words of Samuel. He blamed others for making mistakes and never himself. He was jealous of others and wanted the glory to himself. Most importantly, he didn't trust in God. But the Bible tells us that all of this made God sad that he had made Saul king. And so God told Samuel that he would choose a new king, a king that would follow him with his heart.